In the last video review, I covered an overview of how to record with the Movavi Screen recorder and then edit into Final Cut Pro. Unless you have a 4K webcam or at least 1080p high definition, a computer's webcam is going to be fairly low quality. So for this video, I'm going to concentrate on separating the audio tracks that are created by the Movavi Screen recorder. And this makes for an easy solution of separating the two audio tracks and then using your camera footage for the face-to-face video. I'll show you how to separate these two audio tracks in the free application Handbrake. The Movavi Screen recorder creates an MKV file. Now this can't be used directly by Final Cut, but we can separate those two audio tracks in Handbrake. A link to the Handbrake page is in the description below. And then I'll show you a workflow of how to add the camera file to the two separate audio files in Final Cut. So use the timestamps in the description below so that you can go to the parts of this video that are of most interest to you. You can use the Movavi video recorder to edit the video and the two audio tracks. There is a link to that video. Click the I above. I'm Bruce Macbryde, and my goal is to improve your knowledge and to speed up your workflow in Final Cut. If you're using YouTube to learn Final Cut, then this is a good solution, but it doesn't always give you the answer to your question as those questions come to mind. So I can help you with face-to-face training over the internet. Just click the link in the description below. So this is what the three tracks will look like. The video track of face-to-face is at the top, and then we have the two separate audio tracks. So if we'll play through those now, I'll start talking in part of my tutorial, because while I'm talking into the microphone and I'm playing, so what you can hear there are the two audio tracks mixed together. So if I reduce this one here, going to be able to hear what's coming from the microphone because the audio from the screen, then you can hear the audio from my microphone. So let's see how we created these three separate tracks. So first of all, we need to launch Handbrake, and Handbrake will ask you where the MKV footage is. You can simply select that here or you can drag it in. So let's select it here. So this is the process. If you follow exactly, you'll have no problems. The first time is for settings only. So then we'll create a preset so you don't need to do these settings again. So just make the following changes and leave the other settings in the default. So first of all, select the video tab, and in the video tab, select the video encoder. We want to make sure that that's H.264, and you probably will have your frame rate at 30 frames, but you can change that for PAL settings if you want to. Then select the audio tab, and here you will see your audio track. This is the system track and also the microphone track. So to set it up correctly, we should go to the selection behavior, and these are the settings you should make. So select ACC pass-through, and we'll set that to 48. That's what Final Cut prefers. We'll take the bit rate up a little bit to say 256, which will give you a little bit better quality. Say OK to that. So because you'll be doing this on a regular basis, we'll set this as a preset. So if you select your preset now and type in screen recorder, and leave it in my presets and add that. So that's got all the presets there that you can come back to next time. So what I'm going to do is to quit Handbrake now so that we can come back to it fresh and use that preset. We'll launch Handbrake again. We'll select the file we want to work with. And now all you need to do is to go to the audio tab and select your preset screen recorder. The next step is to go to the bottom and to change the name. So the 0 track is the system track. So let's type in system there, and then you can put your name of the job or whatever after that, and simply add this to the queue. And let's see what's in the queue. So we can press the queue button there, and there we can see our first selection. That's the system audio. Now come back here and select the first track or one track, and we'll call that mic and the name of the file. And then we'll add that to the queue, and you can see that's added into the queue there. All we need to do now is to start the queue, and you'll see the process is happening. And there it is completed. Let's first have a look at a clip where there's only one track of audio that has both the screen and the microphone mixed together. Now I'm going to play through this clip here, and you'll hear how the two sets of audio get confused. This is an example of how a tutorial would run if you were recording the audio from the screen as well as speaking into the microphone. Because while I'm talking into the microphone and so I've stopped that playing now, as you can see. But what you hear there is that the soundtrack of the video has completely overpowered the microphone. Now we can see that this is in fact a stereo track, so we may be able to separate the two stereo tracks to dual mono. I'll reduce the audio on the top track. Phone and the same thing is happening. And I'll reduce the audio on the bottom track. Phone and the same thing is happening. We can see that we can't select those two separate audio tracks. They're permanently mixed together in this particular clip. But what the Movavi screen recorder has done is that it's been able to record these two tracks separately so that you're able to separate them. So what I'm now going to do is to go through the process of how you would use that in Final Cut. If you just have the two audio tracks and you've not recorded to camera, then the workflow is very simple. Or if you've got the two audio tracks and you've recorded to a separate camera, then I'll show you that workflow in a moment. The two audio tracks to be separated by themselves, and here they are here, these two tracks. And what we need to do with those is simply drag one into the timeline, and we'll drag the other one directly below it. And the top track is the audio from the screen recording, and the bottom track is the audio from the microphone. And let's play that through now to the microphone. Because while I'm talking into the microphone and I'm playing the video, you're not going to know. If I play those two together now with the screen recording reduced in volume into the microphone and I'm playing the video, you're not going to be able to hear what's coming from the microphone because the audio from it's now mixed a lot cleaner so you can hear both tracks together. Let's just listen at this one now. We then can separate that in Final Cut. So you can hear the screen in the background, but the microphone is not overpowered. So if you've recorded to camera and you've got the two separate audio tracks, the process is a little different. We'll take the two audio tracks first and we'll select the system one and we'll come over to the inspector and we'll give that the name system. We'll select the microphone and we'll call the camera name mic. And we'll select the video track and you can see that that already has the name of the camera. When we multicam these together, so we'll select the three and right click and new multicam, and we'll make sure that the angle assembly is by camera name, which will ensure that each of those is on a separate track in the multicam. And we now have the multicam track, and if we double click that, we can see now the video in the top track and then the two separate audio in the bottom, and then you can multicam edit that as you would do any normal multicam. This has been a detailed view of how to use the separated audio tracks that are created by the Movavi screen recorder. There are different sections for your different needs. So click in the description below and check the timestamps for the parts of the video that are of most interest to you. Click the eye above so you can go to the video about how to set up the screen recorder itself. And if you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, and press the bell. There are new videos every Sunday.